going to be a difficult lecture because now it's introducing physics into the mix, okay? There is a law, a physics law. That's it. It's a law, okay? And it's called the second law of thermodynamics. And according to the second law of thermodynamics is that the reason why we die, basically, all right, is because all systems there is a principle of disorganization. They go into a disorganization that leads to entropy, and entropy is death. Okay, this is a law of physics. So you see what we're getting here is that we are done. We're eventually gonna die because of this law of physics. All right, as a gestalt, we're gonna have to disorganize eventually, and as you disorganize, the eventual result is going to be death. Okay?
咁佢呢度就講一個定理啦嚇，即係翻去佢話講翻去讀書嗰陣時講物理嘅嘢啦。咁佢頭先都講咗，其實今堂咧係比較深嘅，係需要有翻啲物理啊學各方面嘅知識。如果有咩唔明咧，大家可以隨時問出。咁佢呢度咧就係講關於時間上面咧，佢哋有一個叫做 thermodynamic 係溫度流動嘅第二嘅定律啊。佢就話點解所有啲複合體咧，好似動物啊或者人啊咁樣唔可以翻得去以前咧？就係因為呢個定律咧係講咗咧係會有一個呢個組織咧係會逐漸會變得混亂嘅，所以係唔可以翻去以前嗰度。
Okay, let's do the next slide. So, according to the second law of thermodynamics, entropy increases with time. Okay, this is but I already said that, but now you can see it on the slide. So, as entropy increases, disorganization increases, leading to eventually deterioration and death. So, second law of thermodynamics says that with time, entropy increases. It does not decrease, unfortunately, it increases, therefore we go from birth to death. And this is because of this second law of thermodynamics. Luckily, when you go into the molecular level, that it doesn't work like that. You'll see how it's a whole different situation. Okay, next slide.
Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah, you wanna say?
Entropy 係咪聽睇到係咪譯唔譯到咧？因為呢啲專有名詞我要去即刻。就係根據嗰個定律咧，因為所有我哋呢啲複合整體咧，都會隨住時間咧會變得混亂啊！即係你諗下，原本係一個好整齊嘅嘢，一到時間一過咧，佢就慢慢會混亂㗎。而呢個混亂咧係令到呢個複合嘅生物體咧慢慢會整體會變得惡化，最後咧步行死亡。
OK。
雙火字做個相連嘅相，個字相同。唔識
好物理學嘅知。OK， 咁我哋記得呢個係一個逐步混亂嘅定律啦，其實。
Okay, next one. Okay, so now why is it that we cannot go back in time? This is a very, if you're interested in anti-aging, you should be very, very interested in this very important question. Because there's no point, I mean, yeah, we can fake beauty and we can fake aging, but we cannot really, we want to go back in time. We really want real anti-aging. How can we achieve that? Because it is possible. So our bodies consist of interacting integrated layers from cells to vital organs to muscles to body parts working together. And that forms a gestalt. Okay? And that's life. That's you, me, whatever. Each one of you in this room. Now, if entropy increases with time, you cannot go back in time, right? Because it will increase whether time goes backwards or forwards if entropy increases with time. So stepping back in time will throw us into an unknown chaos of disorder with no guarantee of maintaining our present integration. So you become a gestalt, all right? So you're born and you're born as a gestalt, as a whole person with a personality, with a concept, with beliefs, with being different than everyone else. You're unique, right? And that unique gestalt cannot go back in time, because once you disorganize that, then you can never find that same gestalt. You see what I mean? Because the connections are so complex. Are you understanding me? It's it's easy, but it's complex to understand. Because you're a gestalt, once you're disorganized, it's like saying I have a very beautiful, look at Michael Jackson, okay? He wants to look white. So what he did, he made his skin white, and he changed his nose to look like a white person, and he ended up looking like a monster. Why? Because he, even there, it's not possible. Do you see what I mean? He could not make himself white, no matter how much money he had. He had just ended up making himself look weird. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? We cannot do it with plastic surgery. We cannot do it with any other way. There's only one way we can do it, and that's through molecular mechanisms, as we're going to find out shortly.
Okay. 佢就解釋咗啦，好似之前咁講，最主要就係因為我哋人係一個非常之複合嘅整體嚟嘅。譬如話，我哋身體有唔同嘅器官啦，我哋唔同嘅器官咧，實際上係由好多細胞而組成㗎嘛。咁呢啲細胞咧，一定要互相協調到咧，先至發揮到一個正常嘅功能㗎。呢個就係因為咁樣，而嗰個逐步走向混亂嗰個定律之下咧，所以人體咧係係只會慢慢會老化。所以如果你要明白真正嘅抗衰老咧，一定要明白呢一樣嘢。只有喺分子生物學上咧，先至唔會有呢個影響嘅啫。因為人好複雜，就好似佢頭先舉咗例咧，就係 Michael Jackson， 無論係點樣想變漂白啊，點樣整咧，佢都唔會變成白人，因為我哋人係整體好複雜嘅。譬如我而家一講一句嘢，其實係好多樣嘢加埋，有腦啊、聲啊、肌肉啊、神經啊、血管啊，所有樣嘢加埋。
Okay, let's go. Okay. Now, basically what the bottom line of this principle, of the Gestalt principle, is that once you reach an individual, a Gestalt, then there is a resistance to change. When I got the second doctorate in clinical psychology, I was working in hospitals with mentally ill patients. The one thing that I noticed is that these people don't want to change. So why don't they want to get better? There is a resistance. And that resistance has to do with homeostasis. It has to do with the stability of personality. So you get married and your wife is trying to make you change, right? And what's going to happen? You're not going to change. Or, your husband is trying to make you change and you pretend you're changing, but really you're not going to change. Why? Because there is a resistance of your personality to change. That resistance to change, it has to be there. Otherwise, every day you would be a different person. You have to have a resistance. It's a stability. It's a sense of stability. If I have a lecture every day, you're going to come in and you're going to sit on the same seat that you sat before. Why? There's a stability into the things that you do every day. You wake up and you do the same things every day. That stability is what we call the Gestalt, is a Gestalt. And there is a resistance in that, it's ingrained in that Gestalt. And that's why change is so difficult. If change is difficult, if your wife or your husband cannot change you, how are you going to go back in time just like that? Hello? It's not going to happen. Okay? So that Gestalt that makes an individual, and that's why people that are very ill, they cannot get well. They get worse. And people that are well, they don't get ill that easily. So that is a resistance. It's homeostasis is for good and it's for bad. It's a good thing and there's a bad thing. But people that are physically ill or psychologically ill, they don't want to get better. And that's, hi Dr. Kwok, please come in. And that's the resistance of it's homeostasis or a Gestalt. And it's a point to it. We need the homeostasis to have stability. Okay, let's have the next. So now you understand a little better. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So, however, time reversal is absolutely common practice in molecular mechanisms. It's the basis of our hi Fendi, and we're going to be doing it in Chinese too, so you can understand. So time reversal is the basis for our body's molecular repair operations. So all molecular energy production, all of our energy, all of our molecular mechanisms reverse time. They basically take a phosphate, they give out a phosphate, and they go back and forth in time. And we're going to see this in a second. Let's move on to the next. Oh, you want to explain that?
Okay. Try. 記得頭先我仲講翻呢張，咁咧就係話佢其實頭先講到咧，整體上我哋唔可以時間逆轉，但係喺我哋身體入邊咧，我哋每個細胞咧都做緊一啲時間逆轉嘅嘢嘅。例如喺我哋細胞產生能量嗰陣時咧，就會將嗰啲分子嘅加完再減啊，再還原，總之係一個循環嚟啦。但係我哋整體上係做唔到嘅。但係喺分子嘅生物佢嘅運作入邊咧，係做緊呢一樣嘢嘅。
Okay, so bottom line, if anti-aging is time reversal, we cannot do it with whole persons, but we can do it in the molecular level with molecular mechanisms. So anti-aging has to focus on molecular mechanisms if we can have a chance for time reversal. And this is a very, very interesting. So what is a free radical? A free radical is a stable molecule that has lost one electron. So it has an odd number of electrons rather than an even number of electrons. If you give this free radical its missing electron, it turns back into being a stable molecule. So here is a very plain and straightforward time reversal. I'm a stable molecule, I turn into a free radical, I'm given an electron, and I'm turning back into a stable molecule. Complete time reversal, just depending on one electron. Okay?
Okay.